Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, we're still in Ghana with the Kofis and the Kojos as the flame of this particular saga continues to blaze. Guys, I bring you this Ghana trip. Gbajabiamila list proposals to end attacks on Nigerian traders. So here is now Gbajabiamila in Ghana now in their capital city Accra, giving the Ghanaians clear instructions on how to conduct themselves. Again, the headline, Ghana trip, Gbajabiamila list proposals to end attacks on Nigerian traders. So now let's now see what instructions the House of Rep leader is giving to the Ghanaians. The House of Representatives Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, has listed efforts he made during his trip to Ghana to end attacks on Nigerian traders in the country. Nigerian traders in Ghana in recent times have accused the West African country of locking up their shops and subjecting them to other maltreatments. Consequently, Gbajabiamila on Wednesday embarked on a legislative diplomatic trip to Ghana to seek a solution to the problem. A statement released by his office on Thursday and signed by Lanre Lasisi, his special advisor on media and publicity, said the speaker made some far-reaching proposals that would bring an end to attacks on Nigerian traders doing business in Ghana. Gbajabiamila, the statement said, urged Ghana authorities to revisit the law on $1 million business capital during a legislative diplomacy bilateral meeting with Ghanaian lawmakers and some top government officials as part of his ongoing visit to Ghana to resolve the crisis. Gbajabiamila advocated for an amicable settlement of trade disputes through arbitration and fair judicial processes. The speaker also said he would be glad to champion a law to improve the bilateral trade relationship between Nigeria and Ghana, noting that citizens of the two countries remain brothers and sisters. He called on Ghanaian authorities to revisit the component of the law that requires a capital base of $1 million for businesses to start, saying as Africans, Ghana should encourage brotherliness. The statement reads. The statement went further to state the speaker's position in detail. First, amicable settlement of trade disputes through arbitration and fair judicial processes. In this context, we do believe that while it is the sovereign right of the government of Ghana to pass and implement the GIPC Act, and that is the act, of course, that is requiring Nigerians to pay them $1 million. So to pass and implement the GICP Act, we would implore you to explore alternative and less aggressive options of engaging, sanctioning, and relating with our traders and business people who operate in your country, pay taxes, and contribute to the development of both our nations. Secondly, we would encourage you to revisit the component of the law that requires a capital base of $1 million. We are all Africans. We all have towns and villages, and we know only too well that majority of our traders across the continent are petty traders. The prospects of them being able to raise a capital base of $1 million before they can trade in goods that may be worth less than $1,000 clearly is a major challenge. Thirdly, one of the things we are proud about and the common surname that we all bear is ECOWAS. And as you know, by virtue of being ECOWAS countries, our nations and our citizens should be able to live, work, and thrive in any of our nations without any form of hindrance or discrimination. It is in this light we would encourage that we explore how the principles and the application of ECOWAS protocols, which we are all both signatory to, may perhaps conflict with the application of GICP Act, especially vis-a-vis the recent adoption of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement ICFTA by African nations, and also the movement towards a single currency in the West African sub-region. Fourth is the importance of strengthening legislative diplomacy and collaboration. Legislative diplomacy is a tool that has been used across the world, both in developing and developed nations, to negotiate, to arbitrate, and to find peaceful resolution to disputes between nations. Legislative diplomacy is akin to back channel diplomacy, which in many cases makes it more possible for countries to debate and find solutions to problems without any country losing face publicly. In this regard, I do believe that this step both our parliaments have taken to sit, to discuss, deliberate, and find solutions is a sterling example of legislative diplomacy which the rest of the continent can follow to ensure that while the executive arm of government is performing its duties, that we, the legislature, can also leverage our knowledge, our experience, the relationships we have amongst ourselves to complement efforts in finding collective solutions to our shared problems. Fifth, like I said right from the beginning, Nigeria and Ghana are siblings from the same family. I, for one, would be willing to champion a law that helps to improve the bilateral trade relationship and reciprocal legislation between our two countries. And in this regard, we would like to explore the possibility of jointly passing what we could potentially call a Nigeria-Ghana Friendship Pact or something in that line, which will help cement into law the good relationship between our countries and also create a legal framework for future comradeship that will enable us to ensure that when it comes to Nigeria and Ghana, our laws will support efforts to improve relationships, trade, and positive and friendly interaction between our citizens, institutions, and our governments. We do not have an exact title for such law as at now, but agreeing on reciprocal legislation that cements the friendship between our nations and ensures that it continues to thrive and benefit all our citizens, no matter where they live, would go a long way in strengthening our relationships at all levels. Gbajabia Miller, also noting that the relationship between Ghana and Nigeria remained one of the most important in Africa, said that at a time the world is battling the C-19 pandemic and the economic impacts and the pressure on public coffers and service delivery systems are weighing heavily on all of us, it is clear that this is not a time for conflict and disagreement, but a time for partnership and solidarity. He said it is in a bid to improve the bilateral relationship amongst African countries that he has been championing the creation of the Conference of Speakers and Heads of African Parliament, COSAP, aimed at identifying, discussing, and resolving issues and challenges that affect growth, stability, and development within different regions and across the continent. While our countries share a constructive and healthy rivalry in several areas, ranging from football to music, food, and movie production, amongst others, we know that our healthy rivalry is based more on friendship than enmity and more on healthy competition than destructive confrontation. We are friends, we are family, we are one and determined to remain so. as we continue what our founding fathers started over 6 decades ago. These reasons, ladies and gentlemen, is why we are here to deliberate on how we can jointly overcome current challenges and together build the peaceful and prosperous future we both seek for our countries and our citizens. Gbadagba Miller added. He said the challenges that Nigerian traders face in Ghana were a cause of deep concern for all arms of the Nigerian government and the Nigerian people, calling for urgent action to end the hostility. The escalation of tensions between our citizens and our nations is nothing for either of our countries to be proud of. And therefore, as I said today at the Nigerian High Commission, it is important that our leaders ensure that our utterances and our actions and what is reported in our media do not fan the flames of conflict and confrontation, but instead fuel the possibilities of first de-escalating tensions, finding constructive options for resolution, and working together to effectively implement those solutions, both here in Ghana as well as in Nigeria, Gbadagba Miller said. Speaking, the Ghanaian Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Alan, I'm not even going to attempt his surname, his last name is just some conk Ghanaian name, so we just call him Honorable Alan. So, speaking, the Ghanaian Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Alan, said there were many Ghanaians and Nigerians who are going about their lawful duties without difficulties. The incidents that has occurred where some shops were locked up must have risen out of situations where there were clear abuses of the application of the law. I was happy that the Nigerian Speaker of House of Representatives mentioned that if they were doing legitimate business, please allow them as brothers and sisters to continue to do so. I want to give you that assurance that that will be the case. Anybody engaged in business, trading, doing the rightful things, they must have no difficulties. Even in cases where we found that in some instances where the laws were not being followed, I, in my capacity as the Minister of Trade, had ordered that they shut the office and those who are being seen as offending the law be given an opportunity to regularize their documentation. I say this, being the Minister of Trade and Industry, this is not something that is new. I have always, since the time I have been a minister, found a way of going along so that those who needed to regularize their businesses would do so. Also, as indicated by the Speaker, that it will be a desire to see whether certain aspects of the law could be looked at. I am sure the Speaker will look at that request and appropriate committees will engage on the subject. As long as the laws remain on our statute books, I would like to request that you send a strong signal to our brothers and sisters who are engaged in retail trading that at least for now, until further consideration are made on our statute books, they should just respect the law, because Ghanaian traders themselves are required to respect the law of our country. And in that sense, it will be discriminatory for us to require Ghanaians to respect the same law in our statute books and not require foreigners to do so. So said the man with a funny Ghanaian name. So the funny Ghanaian name speaks last, but he's doubling down, of course, on their position. This is negotiation, you have to understand. So they are tasking the Nigerians in their space, because of course they see Nigerians as wealthy people. So anytime they see Nigerians in Ghana, the only thing they see is dollar signs, because the average Ghanaian thinks the average Nigerian is a millionaire and a billionaire because of our large and our expansive rather lifestyle. So the average Ghanaian, including their government and all of their authorities, they think every Nigerian is a millionaire, and they think if they sweat them hard, then they can milk money out of them. So the trade minister, of course, he's doubling down on their position that this is their legislative position. But fair enough, if that is their legislative position and that is the law on their statute books. But this law on their statute books only seems to be applying to Nigerians, because there's a lot of monitoring of the goings on in Ghana at the moment, and there are no reports of Chinese shops being shut down, or other African shops being shut down, or Arab shops being shut down, or European shops being shut down in Ghana. It is specifically and singularly Nigerian shops that are being shut down. So you have to look at this then from two strands. One, Nigerians are perennial lawbreakers, and they are breaking the laws in Ghana because, of course, they don't even have regard for their own laws in their own country. So that's one way to look at it, and that, of course, is the general Ghanaian sentiment. That is what the average Ghanaian on the street will tell you. But the second way to look at it, which would make more sense, is that these people are specifically targeting Nigerians because there's some sort of beef there. There's an underbelly of resentment towards Nigerians, which is largely based on envy, of course, because of the wealth and the might and the capacity and the confidence and the large personality of Nigerians and Nigeria. So there's a lot of resentment from pretty much a lot of African countries, but especially Ghana, towards Nigeria, because of course the arrogance of the Nigerian is just an innate thing within him, and he carries himself with authority, and he will take all of their women and make more money than them. So they resent all of that, and this is really why this is in play, because you cannot say that Nigerians are breaking the law. That is why they are going after them, because those laws, if they are real laws, then they will be infracted right across the board. So it might well be that there are more of these types of people breaking the law than others, but at least we will be seeing examples of this happening to others as well. So I am yet to see, and I've done a good search, I am yet to see either a written recording, an audio recording, or a video recording, or any form of reporting of a Chinese shop or an Indian shop or any other shops within the Ghanaian space being shut down and aggressively approached in Ghana in the same manner that Nigerian shops and businesses are being attacked. So clearly then, of course, you have to conclude they're specifically targeting Nigerians, and the Ghana Minister of Trade is doubling down on our positions that we will continue to attack you until something gives. So maybe they think that they are going to get a payoff from the Nigerian government. He will get his own bag of dollars, of course, because Nigerians, they especially the Nigerian state, they usually operate on a brown envelope sort of mentality. I think Rawlings was bribed by Abacha and all of this sort of nonsense. So the Ghanaians, they know full well that if you pressure Nigerians, then you get a payoff. So this trade minister, of course, is trying to squeeze hard on Nigeria and Nigerians to get his own brown envelope to go and buy his own house in London, because of course he knows that it's a wealthy country and a corrupt country. So that's one element. The other element, of course, is all of the resentments that I have already spoken about. But then the fallout of this is when it comes to the breaking point, there's only one person that will yield, and it will be Ghana, because Nigeria is a more potent force than Ghana in any way that you want to measure life. It's a vastly larger economy. As I said previously, Nigeria is the 30th, that's 30, largest economy in the world. And I don't even think that Ghana made the chart. It's just some other small little African country that people go there on holidays and they do all this year of returns, and all of these black Americans are doing videos there and they are making noise. But really, Ghana is Ghana, but Nigeria It's Nigeria. So don't push it too hard. If you want a little bit of maybe like $1 million or even $10 million to go and buy yourself an apartment in London and go and get some white babes or whatever it is that the Ghanaian trade minister is after, that is squeezing for money from Nigeria. You can have that, but settle down, Kofi or Kwesi or whatever your name is, settle it down, because if you push it too hard, if we shut the borders from Seme and say, okay, carry on, then all of these countries will collapse, because the entirety of the economy of Benin and Togo and a good 30 to 40%, if not even 60% of the economy of Ghana is dependent on Nigerian trade. If Nigeria shuts these people off, they will collapse within half a year. There's absolutely no question about that. There will be riots on their streets, they will be cannibalizing each other, and they will go back to a state of nature sort of being. So calm yourself down again is the recurring decimal that Gwajabiamila Miller is sending to the Ghanaians, but do they have the cranial functions to understand what is being said to them? That's the $1 million question. Come give your $1 million answers to this question in the comment section. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Then which way Ghana is the question? Come give your answer in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.